Hey friend, welcome back to Sales Funnels Tech Simplified, the podcast where we take the scary, overwhelming tech stuff and break it down so it feels doable, dare I say, even a little fun. I'm your host Deepanjali, and today we are pulling back the curtain on AI. Not the I asked ChatGPT to write me a meal plan kind of AI, but the how it actually works under the hood kind of AI. Before you roll your eyes and think, oh no, this sounds techy and dry, I promise you this is going to be super simple. Because I'm explaining it the way I would explain it to my best friend over coffee and a blueberry cheesecake. Which, let's be honest, is when all the good ideas happen. So here's what sparked this episode, my friend. A client sent me a beautifully written blog post that she said was AI assisted. But here's the thing, it quoted a study from the International Wellness Council for Digital Healing. And I was like, that sounds fancy. So I Googled it and it doesn't exist. And that's when it hit me. If we are using AI in our businesses, we need to know what it's actually doing behind the scenes. Because otherwise, we might be unintentionally publishing fairy tales with a professional tone. That brings me to the first part of this podcast episode, which is tokenization, aka how AI chops things up. Okay, so let's start with a word that sounds scarier than it is: tokenization. Imagine writing a sentence like, how do I help clients who struggle with emotional eating? Now, you and I read that as one clear sentence. But AI, it breaks that into tiny pieces called tokens, like how do I help clients who struggle? You get the idea, right? Now, each of these tokens is like a puzzle piece, and AI isn't reading the sentence, it's analyzing the sequence of these pieces. And why does this matter? Because when your prompts are too vague, AI gets confused. It starts predicting based on half baked context. So, next time you're writing a prompt, be clear, specific, and generous with your context. Think of yourself as the director and AI as the actor. It needs your vision to perform well. Now, let's go to the second part of this episode, which is embeddings, aka AI's ability to connect the dots. This one is actually kind of cool. Embeddings are what allow AI to understand relationships between words. So, when you say weight loss, it might automatically think exercise, nutrition, or even body image. It's like a giant mind map stored inside its brain. Okay, it doesn't have a brain, but you get me, right? And this is why, when you are writing about your niche, say gut health or hormone balance, you will notice that AI starts picking up related terms even if you don't explicitly ask it to. But, and here's the big but, sometimes it will pull in outdated info, generic fluff, or stuff that doesn't match your brand. Because embeddings aren't about accuracy, they're about association. So, just because AI associates something with your topic doesn't mean it's the right message for your people. That brings me to the third part, which is LLMs, what they really are. And here's the spoiler, my friends, they are guessers. All right, now for the crown jewel, the LLM, aka Large Language Model. ChatGPT is an LLM, so is Gemini. And they don't actually know anything. They just predict, they are not looking up facts or referencing a source of truth. They are scanning billions of patterns and asking what word usually comes next in this kind of sentence. So, if you ask what's the best approach to weight loss for women over 40, AI doesn't go check a study or research paper. It just pulls the most likely response based on patterns it's seen in training data, which is exactly how we end up with very confident, very polished sounding hallucinations. Now, here's the fourth part of this episode. Let's talk about hallucinations. Yes, that's a real AI term. And this is my favorite part because it sounds so dramatic. But seriously, when AI gives you totally made up stuff, it's called a hallucination. And the worst part, it doesn't sound made up. It sounds smart, credible, and authoritative. Like your high school classmate who always had an answer even if they were totally winging it. Here's the issue. If you copy paste that into your email newsletter or course slide, it can erode trust with your target audience. So let's talk about how to fact check this stuff. And that brings me to the fifth segment of this episode, how to fact check AI without becoming a detective. Here's your first step sanity saver. Ask for sources. Literally say, can you give me the source for that info? If it can't, that's a red flag, my friend. Google the juicy stuff. If it's quoting a study or stat, search it. And you get bonus points for putting phrases in quotes to get exact results. Use your own lens, my friend. You know your coaching philosophy. If AI gives you advice that feels off, it probably is. Treat AI like your assistant, not your authority. It's a brilliant brainstorming partner, but final decisions, that's all you. And here's the real talk before you go, my friend. Look, AI is a powerful tool. It can help you show up more, do more, and serve more. But it's not your boss, it's not even your peer. It's more like the intern who read every book ever, but still needs you to explain your brand voice and double check its homework. And when you understand how it works, even at basic level, you unlock a whole new level of creative freedom without giving up your standards. And here's your takeaway for this week. Next time you use AI for content, stop and ask, is this true? Does this align with what I believe and teach? If yes, amazing. And if not, reword, fact check, or toss it. Because your voice deserves to lead. AI is just here to amplify it. And before you go, if this episode made you feel a little smarter and a lot more in control when it comes to AI, will you do me a favor? Share it with a coach friend who's dabbling in AI and needs this behind the scenes tour. And if you are not already on the Smart Funnels and AI newsletter, get on it, my friend. Every Wednesday, Kshitij and I send you bite-sized, actionable tips on using AI plus funnels without tech overwhelm. Thanks for being here. Thanks for staying curious. And remember, just because it's tech doesn't mean it has to be hard. Catch you next week.